to wish all of our citizens a happy, healthy, and a prosperous new year. Mayor Dwyer is unable to attend tonight's meeting, so I am acting in his part. So will everyone please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do a quick roll. As I mentioned, Mayor Dwyer is unable to attend tonight's meeting. Trustee Berenger.
Berenger is present.
Trustee Carl.
Carl, present.
Trustee O'Connor.
O'Connor, present.
And Trustee Ferraro is here. Right now, our first one is to accept the monthly meetings of December 19th, 2023, and I need a motion to discuss.
Berenger will make the motion.
Carl will second.
Is there any discussion? None? Okay, call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Ferraro, aye. So carried. Very light agenda, so we're going to go straight down to introductory of local law override of the tax levy limit established by the general principle law 3-C and scheduling a public hearing. Be it resolved that the introductory local law titled A Local Law to Override the Tax Levy Limit established by the General Municipal Law 3-C is hereby introduced by Deputy Mayor Ferraro before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Monroe, County of Orange, State of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposal law be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board of Trustees, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at the Village Hall, 7 Stage Road in Monroe, at 7 p.m. on January 16th, 2024. And be it further resolved that the village clerk shall publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Monroe no later than 5 days prior thereto. And I'll need to I need a motion.
Berenger will make the motion.
Any discussion?
O'Connor will second.
I think you seconded, you proposed it.
I propose, well, usually
You put it in the form of a motion.
yeah, I put in a form of
So I'll
motion.
second.
Okay, second.
Yep.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
And Ferraro, aye. So carried. Okay, next thing on the agenda, introduction of local law, Village of Monroe environmentally constrained lands law and scheduling of public hearing. Will our attorney please?
Yeah, I just want to note, again, going back a bit, the override of the tax levy, villages and towns generally do this every year just in case. You have to do that by local law in case you should go over the tax cap. As for the constrained lands, this is a local law that the board has been discussing as part of the implementation of comprehensive plan suggestions. And one of the suggestions in the comprehensive plan was to deduct environmentally constrained lands, that would be lands underwater, lands in floodplains, steep slopes, that type of thing, from the calculation of number of lots that can be provided under the zoning law. So that's a synopsis of the local law. What you're doing tonight is simply introducing it and setting a public hearing. So, be it resolved that introductory local law titled Village of Monroe Environmentally Constrained Lands Law is hereby introduced by Deputy Mayor Ferraro before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Monroe, County of Orange, State of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board of Trustees. And be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at Village Hall, 7 Stage Road, Monroe, New York, at 7 p.m. on January 16, 2024. And be it further resolved that the village clerk shall publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Monroe no later than 10 days prior thereto. I would put that in the form of a motion on behalf of Deputy Mayor Ferraro.
Need a second?
Carl is,
No, I can't introduce,
Uh,
someone has to.
Carl will second it.
motion
I'll put it in the motion.
Okay.
I'll need a second.
Carl will second.
Carl, second.
I just quick discussion. I'm looking at the full assessment form. I know we're,
The what?
the full environmental assessment form, Part 1.
Okay, let me get to that.
And if you go down to C,
Okay, hold on, let me get to it.
C2. Hey, it's going to be on page 2 of 13.
Page 2 of the,
Yep. If you go down, are you there, Elise?
yeah. Mhm.
All right, we're at C2B. If yes, identify the plans. It's got Hudson River Valley Greenway and the Orange County Greenway Compact. We also, portion of the village is in that watershed management plan, which is part of our drinking water source protection plan, and I think that should be added into that. That protects the well and the aquifer that, that the well overlies.
Okay, and what is that again?
It's part of the watershed management plan. It's the abbreviation for that is drinking water, DW, source protection, SP2, the number 2. So it's a drinking water source protection plan.
All right, I have added that.
Because again, that protects the watershed over on the northern side of the village with the wellhead.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I saw that should have been added.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
And Ferraro, aye, so carried. And that is the agenda for this evening. Anybody would like to report anything, discuss anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, you want to go first?
Oh, you can go first.
The good news, the 18-inch line has been hooked up from the reservoir to the water filtration plant.
Really?
It was done last week. So we're on the new 18-inch line, all the way up to the reservoir. They've got to go back in yet to repair the 16-inch line. So that line has been isolated, and we're going to do some pipe bursting through the swamp where that line was leaking. And we're going to put a section of 18, about 2,000 feet of 18-inch pipe. So it'll go 16 through the swamp, 18, and then back to 16 when it comes out of the swamp. This way we'll never have to go back in there
Have to
again.
go back, that's great.
So that is done. And the other thing I was going to ask the mayor tonight, have we heard anything from One Stage Road?
I haven't, he didn't mention it
Yay,
to me.
nay?
Did you hear
I've
anything?
been emailing back and forth with their attorney. They really want an easement, and I have instructed them that the village is not prepared to grant them a permanent easement because that is a right, it's a property right. So as far as I'm concerned, and the mayor's concerned, and the board is concerned, you're willing to grant a license. And so far, they don't seem to be willing to accept that. So he was gonna get back to his client and get back to me, and I haven't heard anything since.
And the license would just be a temporary use?
Well, I mean, you can grant a license for a long period of time. I had suggested 5 years with periods of renewal. They're not thrilled about that either. The board could certainly grant a longer license, but a permanent easement, no.
What would that do? That would hinder us if we decided to expand
That's correct.
and go out onto our property.
Right, an easement runs with the land, right? So it will always run with the village land benefiting that property. His attorney understands that, so it would be up to him to convince his client. Otherwise, the board can put up guardrails or do whatever it feels it should do. There's also a discussion with the mayor about tying into the drainage from the roof over there so that water doesn't go down to the sidewalk. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
No, I wasn't.
No, that was discussed.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, we had a meeting, the mayor and I had a meeting with them, and
Over that.
things we're looking to do to get them to move
To
along.
help them a little,
Yep,
yeah.
but,
Understood.
Again, they want an easement there. And I suggested again a license, perhaps a longer-term license. The other problem with granting easements is essentially you're giving away a property right. And in order to do that, you would have to find that there'll never be a need for that property. So,
That's tough, that's a tough sell.
yeah, that's a very tough sell.
Okay, Mayor Dwyer must be watching us because he said he is not in favor of a permanent easement, as you
Right.
just said.
Correct.
Okay, that's the only things I have.
I just wanted to congratulate Officer Luisi for rescuing a dog that had the chain wrapped around its neck by a ramp, and he made a rescue. So I thought that was really great work. And also Chief Guzman will be attending the FBI Academy in January.
Nice. Anyone else? Okay.
I have nothing for the board.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can call it an evening. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming. And so, like to go into executive session?
I have nothing for executive session
Yeah,
unless the
then
board.
let's- All right, I need a motion to close the meeting.
Carl will make the motion.
O'Connor will second.
Call the question,
Berenger, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
and for ROI, so carried. Thank you, everyone.
Kim, is Neil sick?
Oh, Happy New